They tell you loneliness is a weakness, a failure. But what if it's the ultimate source of power? What if the constant need for social interaction is the real prison? A cage designed to keep you distracted, dependent, and weak. You feel it, don't you? The exhaustion of the performance, the hollowness of the crowd. Tonight, we don't run from that feeling. We embrace it. These are the 11 dark truths about why isolation beats socializing. Socializing is a performance, not a connection. Recognize social interaction for what it is, a stage play. From an evolutionary perspective, this was a critical survival tool. Our ancestors' lives depended on group cohesion, making ostracism a death sentence. Therefore, we evolved to be masterful actors, mirroring expressions, suppressing inconvenient opinions, and feigning interest to secure our place within the tribe. This isn't connection. It's a deeply rooted appeasement strategy. In the modern world, this ancient software runs on the infinite stage of social media and corporate life. Every quote zero, every polite nod, every forced smile is a calculated move to manage your public image and avoid social friction. This constant performance is an immense drain on your cognitive and emotional resources. Choosing isolation is not a failure to connect. It is a strategic withdrawal from the theater. It is the deliberate act of conserving your energy, dropping the mask, and engaging with the only person who doesn't require a performance, yourself. While others are busy auditioning for approval, you are building a reality that requires none. People use you as an emotional dumping ground, not as a friend. Understand the brutal mechanics of emotional exchange. From a psychological standpoint, individuals are perpetually seeking homeostasis, a state of internal balance. When they are overloaded with negative emotions like anxiety, anger, or despair, they instinctively seek an outlet to vent this pressure. You, with your capacity for empathy and attention, are the most convenient and low-cost receptacle. This process is not born of malice, but of pure, unadulterated self-interest. They are not sharing to connect with you. They are offloading to relieve themselves. They bring you their problems, you absorb the emotional toxicity, and they walk away feeling lighter, leaving you to carry the psychic weight. This is a fundamentally parasitic dynamic. Isolation is your shield. By withdrawing from these interactions, you cease to be a free emotional waste disposal service. You protect your own mental and emotional reserves from the contamination of others' unresolved issues. Solitude is not about rejecting people. It's about refusing to be a passive resource in their selfish quest for emotional regulation. It's the ultimate act of psychological self-preservation. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling drained, used as nothing more than an emotional landfill? Let me know in the comments if this resonates. But don't go anywhere, because the truths we're uncovering are leading to a final, brutal realization. Stay until the end, because Truth 11 is not just an argument, it is the fundamental operating principle of reality that society is desperate to hide from you. It changes everything. The group demands conformity. Genius requires separation. The primary function of any social group is self-preservation, which is achieved through homogeneity and consensus. From a neurological standpoint, dissenting from the group triggers fear and anxiety centers in the brain, the same ones activated by physical threats. This ancient survival mechanism ensures the tribe remains stable and predictable. The group, by its very nature, punishes outliers and rewards conformity. It seeks the safety of the average, the comfort of the familiar. Genius, however, is the ultimate outlier. It is a radical deviation from the mean. It is the dissonant note that shatters the comfortable harmony. To create something truly new, a revolutionary idea, a paradigm-shifting discovery, a transcendent piece of art, one must disconnect from the noise of the collective mind. You must enter a space where social pressure cannot penetrate, and the fear of being ostracized holds no power. Solitude is this space. It is the laboratory where accepted truths can be dismantled and reassembled without judgment. The group will always demand you shrink to fit its container. Isolation grants you the infinite space required for genuine creation. Your social brain is a primitive tool, unfit for the modern world of shallow networks. Evolution shaped your brain for the deep, high-stakes bonds of a small hunter-gatherer tribe, likely no more than 150 individuals. This is Dunbar's number, the cognitive limit of your social hardware. Every relationship within this tribal structure was crucial for survival, demanding rich, nuanced, and long-term assessment. Now, thrust this finely tuned instrument into the modern digital cacophony. You are bombarded with thousands of "0" and "1" shallow data points in a vast, meaningless network. Your brain attempts to process these low-quality connections using its ancient, high-investment software, resulting in cognitive overload, social anxiety, and a profound sense of emptiness. It's a system failure. Isolation is not a retreat. It's a systems reboot. It is the rational decision to unplug from an environment that your neurology was never designed to handle, preserving your mental bandwidth for what truly matters: deep thought, focused work, or the rare, genuine connection that honors your brain's ancestral design. While others are glitching in the social matrix, you are operating on a clean, optimized system. Every social event is a tax on your most valuable resources, time and energy. View your existence through a lens of brutal resource management. Your most precious, non-renewable assets are not money or status, but your finite reserves of time and cognitive energy. Each social engagement is a tax levied against this capital. Consider the true cost: the hours spent on preparation, travel, and the event itself, followed by the critical period of mental and emotional recovery. This time is permanently lost, an investment that rarely yields a return beyond fleeting distraction or superficial validation. The energy expenditure is even more severe. Socializing is not rest, it is work. It demands constant threat assessment, impression management, and the cognitive load of decoding subtle cues and feigning interest. You are performing a complex series of calculations to maintain social equilibrium. Isolation is the most powerful form of asset protection. It is a conscious, strategic decision to halt the relentless draining of your vital resources. You are not rejecting people. You are rejecting a fundamentally bad investment, choosing instead to allocate your time and energy toward endeavors that offer compound growth, knowledge, skill, and genuine self-mastery. You cannot meet your true self until you are completely alone. Your sense of self is not a static entity. It is a fluid construct, constantly shaped and reinforced by the perceptions of others. From a young age, you are conditioned to see yourself through the eyes of your parents, peers, and society. You internalize their labels, absorb their expectations, and perform the role they assign you. This social self is a reflection, not a reality. It is a carefully curated persona designed for group acceptance. To discover who you are beneath this facade, you must remove the mirrors. Solitude is the only environment where the external feedback loop is severed. In the profound quiet, the voices of others fade, and for the first time, you can hear your own unfiltered thoughts and impulses. You confront the raw, unedited version of your own consciousness. This process is often uncomfortable, even terrifying. because it forces you to shed the illusions you've mistaken for identity. But only in this state of absolute separation can you distinguish between the programming you've received and the person you fundamentally are. Isolation is not emptiness. It is the prerequisite for authentic self-discovery. Society labels freedom as loneliness, to keep you dependent and controllable. Understand the power of language as a tool of social engineering. The term loneliness is not a diagnosis, it is a cage. Society has brilliantly pathologized solitude, rebranding the state of sovereign autonomy as a psychological deficiency. Why? Because a person comfortable with being alone is ungovernable. They are a failed consumer, a poor subordinate, and an unpredictable variable in the social equation. The fear of being labeled lonely is a potent control mechanism, leveraging our primal evolutionary terror of tribal exile. It drives individuals back into the herd, where they can be more easily managed, marketed to, and pacified. By choosing isolation, you are not succumbing to a pathology. You are performing an act of rebellion. You are consciously rejecting the manufactured narrative that equates self-sufficiency with failure. While others scramble for the hollow comfort of the group, you recognize solitude as the very definition of freedom, the ultimate immunity from external control. Relationships are fundamentally transactional. Isolation frees you from being a resource. Strip away the romantic and sentimental narratives, and you will find the cold, hard wiring of transactional biology at the core of every human relationship. This is not cynicism, it is evolutionary logic. We form bonds based on a subconscious calculation of value. What can this person provide me? This could be resources, status, protection, emotional regulation, or genetic fitness. You are constantly being assessed for your utility, and you are doing the same to others, whether you admit it or not. When your perceived value diminishes, the bond weakens. Friendship, romance, even family ties are all governed by this brutal, unspoken marketplace of social exchange. To be in a relationship is to be a resource, constantly available for extraction. Isolation is your declaration of economic independence. It is a deliberate withdrawal from this marketplace. By removing yourself from the equation, you are no longer a commodity to be valued, used, and discarded. You are sovereign. You are not a means to someone else's end. This is not about rejecting connection. It's about refusing to be a product. Emotional contagion is a disease. Solitude is the quarantine. From a neurobiological perspective, human beings are incredibly porous. Our mirror neuron systems are designed to subconsciously absorb and replicate the emotional states of those around us. This is emotional contagion, an ancient survival mechanism that allowed tribes to quickly synchronize their responses to threats. In the modern world, however, this system is a liability. You are constantly exposed to a low-grade miasma of secondhand anxiety, manufactured outrage, and collective hysteria. You absorb the stress of your coworkers, the anxieties of your friends, and the panic propagated by media. This isn't empathy, it's psychic infection. Your emotional state is hijacked, your focus is shattered, and your inner peace is eroded by feelings that are not even your own. Solitude is the only effective quarantine. It is the act of creating a psychologically sterile environment where you can purge these foreign emotional contaminants. In isolation, you regain sovereignty over your own nervous system, allowing you to accurately identify and experience your own authentic feelings, free from the incessant noise of others' internal chaos. The myth of the social butterfly was created to fuel consumerism and herd behavior. The glorification of extreme extroversion is not a natural state of being. It is a carefully constructed cultural ideal designed to serve an economic system. A social butterfly is the perfect consumer. Their constant need for external validation and novel experiences makes them susceptible to trends, status symbols, and experience-based marketing. They are driven to buy the right clothes for the party, visit the trendiest restaurant, and post the most enviable vacation photos. Their social life becomes a performance of consumption. Furthermore, this ideal reinforces herd mentality. By celebrating the person who is always surrounded by others, society subtly demonizes the individual who stands apart. This discourages critical, independent thought and promotes a culture of consensus, making the population easier to influence and control. The myth serves to create a populace that is perpetually insecure, outwardly focused, and eager to spend money to fill a void that social interaction was never meant to fill. Embracing isolation is a radical act of anti-consumerism, a rejection of the manufactured need for constant social performance. You are born into a universe that is completely indifferent to your existence. Socializing is a desperate attempt to forget this. Isolation is the courage to face it. This is the ultimate, non-negotiable truth. Strip away every social construct, every belief system, every relationship, and you are left with a single, terrifying fact. You are a fleeting consciousness adrift in an unfeeling, cosmic void. The universe does not know your name, nor does it care about your struggles or triumphs. Socializing, at its very core, is a sophisticated defense mechanism against this existential dread. It is the creation of a miniature, human-centric universe where we assign each other importance to create a shared illusion of meaning. We chatter, we gather, we love, and we fight, all to distract ourselves from the silent, star-filled abyss. Isolation is the act of dropping the shield. It is the conscious, terrifying decision to turn and face that abyss directly. It is to sit in the profound silence and let the full weight of cosmic indifference wash over you. This is not nihilism. It is the final liberation. By accepting your own insignificance, you are freed from the desperate need for external validation. You find a power that is not granted by others, but forged in the cold, hard reality of existence itself. You stayed until the end because you are not afraid to look into the void. You understand that true power isn't found in the noise of the crowd, but in the clarity of the silence. Embrace this truth. Let it be your armor and your weapon. For more truths that cut to the bone, subscribe to the channel. 11 Dark Truths. See clearly.